Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the science of happiness. But here's the twist. We're not starting with positive thinking or meditation. Nope. We're starting with the physical health of that 3-pound organ between your ears, the one that literally creates your entire reality, your brain.
I mean, seriously, think about it. We track our heart rate, right? Our steps, our sleep. But what about the one organ that controls everything you think, feel, and do? It is, without a doubt, the most important piece of hardware we own, and yet, we almost never think about its physical condition.
And this quote right here from psychiatrist and brain health expert Dr. Daniel Amen, well, it changes everything. The whole idea is that a lot of our mental and emotional struggles, things like anxiety or depression, they aren't just in our minds. They often start with the actual physical health of our brain.
He puts it so simply with this analogy. All the stuff that makes up your mind, your feelings, thoughts, your memories, that's the software. But that software is completely 100% dependent on the hardware it's running on, the physical, moment-to-moment functioning of your brain.
Okay, so if our brain's physical health is the foundation for our happiness, what are we doing every single day that might be hurting it without us even realizing it? Well, some of the answers might actually surprise you. So to really get the risks, you have to appreciate the brain's physical reality. It's incredibly soft. We're talking about the consistency of like soft butter, and it's just floating around in your skull, which is basically a hard, bony box full of sharp ridges. Yeah, it really doesn't take much to cause some damage.
And that brings us to this list of common culprits. A lot of things we think of as totally normal, from the sugary breakfast foods we give our kids, and Dr. Amen, he specifically calls out Pop-Tarts for what they do to blood sugar, to just common recreational habits. They can all cause unseen damage over time.
And physical trauma? It's a huge, often overlooked factor. 90 million. That's the estimated number of concussions in the U.S. over just the last 30 years. And we're not just talking about big, dramatic injuries. Dr. Amen warns that even mild brain injuries can literally ruin people's lives, becoming this hidden cause of depression, addiction, and even homelessness.
But here's the good news, okay? This is not a story about unavoidable decline. We can absolutely fight back. And building a better, happier brain isn't about these massive, overwhelming changes. No, it's a daily practice built on tiny, repeatable habits.
So Dr. Amen suggests this really simple but incredibly powerful routine. It takes, a few minutes a day, but it works to intentionally reprogram your brain for positivity and for better health. So let's break down why each of these steps is so effective. Okay, that first habit, telling yourself today is going to be a great day the second your feet touch the floor, that's all about setting your intention. The words you say to yourself really matter because your subconscious is always listening. You're basically nudging your brain onto a positive track from the very start of your day.
And that final habit, it trains your brain to find the positive. He calls it going on a treasure hunt. Even on what was the worst day of his life, the day his father died, this habit let him find these small moments of beauty and connection. That's how you build incredible mental resilience.
Now, beyond these daily habits, there's a deeper neurochemical principle at play here. And it's all about how we manage our brain's pleasure and reward centers, which are run by a chemical called dopamine. This is the key question you have to ask yourself. So many things that feel good in the moment. A giant plate of fries, alcohol, going viral on social media. They're actually wearing out our supply of dopamine. That's the chemical that makes us feel pleasure and motivation.
And the key is really getting the difference between these two. Dumping dopamine gives you this huge addictive rush that then leaves you depleted. You're left needing more and more just to feel normal. But dripping dopamine, that gives you a steady, gentle, sustainable sense of well-being.
So the whole point is to actively look for these small, repeatable sources of joy. Things like being totally present when you hold a loved one's hand, or getting a little sun on your face, or even playing racket sports, which, by the way, a recent study showed helps people live longer. These are the things that build your brain up instead of tearing it down. All right, if you're going to take away just one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this final, incredibly simple and life-changing tool. This one question, asked before you eat, or drink, or do pretty much anything, it can fundamentally change the entire direction of your health and your happiness. It just inserts a tiny moment of consciousness into your decisions, forcing you to connect your actions with what comes next.
And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a medical degree to answer it. As Dr. Amen points out, this knowledge is just
intuitive. Deep down, we all already know the answers. This question just makes us be honest with ourselves in that moment of choice.
So, by shifting our focus away from the abstract mind and onto the physical health of our brain, we actually get the power to construct our own well-being. Happiness becomes an active choice, a daily practice, all built on that one simple question: is this good for my brain?